How's it, Godzilla fans, kaiju fans, collectors, and just general people of YouTube? This is Chanzilla1964 coming back to you with yet another figure review. This time we will be reviewing the Bandai Movie Monster Series Mechagodzilla 2 figure. That just came out this past year, late last month actually. So, to start off with detail on this guy is pretty much going to be the same as the detail on the Super Mechagodzilla figure, which I have right here. So if you want to see the detail, go to that figure review. No, I'm just messing around. Start off with the chest area. The chest area has this really nice smooth metal detail. I don't know how else to describe it. You got the very nice neck part over here, the neck plates going on over here. You have the very nice joint detail over here for the arms. You got the nicely detailed hands with the segmented fingers, the knuckle buster things, the brass knuckles from Mechagodzilla. The inside of the hand is very nicely detailed as well. Then you have his stomach over here, which is not with the gut buster cannon thingy majig, which I still didn't learn the name of it because I'm pretty sure the gut buster is not the name of the weapon for Mechagodzilla 2. Yeah, but it's this nice smooth detail with this plate over here. Then you got the crotch area, which is very nicely detailed with this kind of wing pattern and the vents over here. And then you got the thrusters, the kneecaps very nicely done, feet very nicely done. The hinges for the feet are very nicely done too. Coming into around the back, which is the only difference for this Mechagodzilla figure, where we have the very nicely detailed thrusters over here, compared to the Garuda thrusters, which are kind of plain and meh. Then you got the very nicely detailed spikes as well, which are done very nicely for this Mechagodzilla figure. So yeah, you still got the face detail going on over here. Let's see if the camera will catch it, because my camera's being a certain way today. And yes, they do. Very nicely detailed with the vents on the back, very nicely done. I didn't notice this, but there's this little dot and this little panel on the back of the crest over here, which is a very cool detail to add. Didn't notice that before. And then you got Mechagodzilla's face over here looking very menacing this time around, which is an interesting thing from Bandai to do. You got the infrared eye glass for the eye detail. And then you got a very nicely redone head mold for Mechagodzilla over here, which I love. Absolutely love it. The thing about this Mechagodzilla, which is interesting, is that they have him looking down and forward, which makes him look extra menacing, which is... I like what Bandai did with this guy. Honestly, I really do like what they did with this guy. Speaking of things I liked, moving on to paint, he's just all silver, which, like I said in the last review, is Mechagodzilla. The shading was, I mean, there was shading on the old figure, but I don't mind there not being any shading on this figure, even though I think these parts might be darker, or at least black, gray kind of, so I might have to touch that up. But besides that, I really don't mind this figure being full silver, because it looks amazing, and it gives me the vibe of that old Godzilla Save the Earth Melee game for the GameCube, of when you see Mechagodzilla, this is kind of the vibe you get from him. So I like it, especially with the way that the paint shines for this guy. The one thing that I really like right now, and that the camera's catching, is how the eyes really pop out over the silver paint. So the paint for this guy is very nicely done. Doesn't need the shading, doesn't need anything else besides what it has right now. Yellow eyes and the silver body, which it's strangely speckled. I'm kind of thinking it looks speckled compared to the Super Mechagodzilla. Well, it's kind of speckled too, but not as much as this one, even though I feel like this one is just shinier than this one. So yeah, tell me if I'm wrong, but it seems shinier, or at least like a shade lighter. But look at what I mean. This one is looking straight forward, and this one is looking down and forward. I mean, like, which Mechagodzilla looks a lot more menacing? Looking at you anyways. Even though this one has more guns and stuff, so I mean, there's another story there. But yeah, I like what they did with this guy, detail-wise and paint-wise. Now, articulation-wise, same stuff you're going to get for any Mechagodzilla 2 figure. Arms move, head moves, and the tail moves. So articulation is very nicely done as well. So yeah. Now moving on to size comparison, we have the Godzilla that he faces off with over here. It's going to be the Heisei Godzilla, and we got regular Rodan before he gets nuked, or before he changes into Fire Rodan. So size-wise, he's a bit small. Especially if you look at him in the movie, he's a bit small. So he's kind of following the trend that other Bandai villains have been following, Destroyer and Biolante, where Bandai's been kind of downsizing on their villains, which I don't mind because it fits for Mechagodzilla. I don't expect humanity to build a robot just as big as a Godzilla, but if we're going for movie accuracy, this guy's kind of small, especially compared to this figure where it's not as noticeable that he's short because at least he's looking at Godzilla, whereas this guy's kind of looking down, so he looks shorter, even though he's not really that much shorter. So yeah, I mean, compared to the Rodan though, he looks like he's staring down Rodan, so I don't mind this at all. Yeah. Yes, I quite like this. That's kind of cool. But yeah, size comparison wise, I think he sizes up very nicely with the other Bandai figures that you got in your collection, especially for this movie. But in regards to the movie accuracy, this guy he doesn't quite size up as much as he should. But like I said, for me, I'm fine with it because realistically speaking, logically speaking, I don't expect humanity to build a mecha just as big as Godzilla, but if we're going off movie accuracy, he's kind of short. Size aside, if you guys have a chance to pick up this figure and you don't have the old Mechagodzilla 2 figure, I suggest you guys definitely pick it up. If you guys have the old Mechagodzilla 2 figure, they're both very good figures in their own respective qualities and their own regards, so it's up to you if you want to pick this one up and have another Mechagodzilla 2 figure, because this one has updated details and all. Size-wise, it's downgraded a bit, but the details have definitely been upgraded. That'll just about do it for today's review, though. This has been Chanzilla 1964. If you like this video, do be sure to hit that thumbs up button down below, and if you like what you see on the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you guys want to leave a comment if I missed anything, if you guys are excited for the upcoming Bandai Movie Monsters King Ghidorah, Heisei King Ghidorah figure coming out, let me know in the comment section down below, since that's definitely a figure that I'm excited for. Now I'm hoping that that figure is not following this trend where he's on the smaller side, because if he's like, I'm gonna bring out Godzilla here. If he ends up like, let's say, where's Rodan? Here. Just exaggerate example. If he ends up like this tall compared to Godzilla, I'm going to be pretty upset because that's a small Ghidorah figure. Now, if he ends up kind of like this tall compared to Godzilla, still going to be a bit upset, but it's kind of forgivable because it's not as bad looking. Now, the acceptable size that I will take for him to end up is this tall compared to Godzilla. Just about the same height, with the front head looking at him like this, if need be. This is about the size that I'll accept for Ghidorah to be, and be perfectly happy with it. The Mechagodzilla size, I don't really mind. I'm okay with it, especially if it goes this size, but for Ghidorah, I want him to be bigger. Since, looking at the pictures, he's probably going to be a more badass looking Ghidorah, so fingers crossed, Bandai. Enough of that babble, though. This has been Chanzilla 1964 saying until next time, guys. Peace, peace.